seeded Stefan Edberg has moved into the finals of the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup. Last night, he faced John McEnroe in a highly anticipated semifinal matchup. But it was apparent early that it wasn't going to be McEnroe's night. Edberg dominated throughout, winning easily 6-1, 6-4.
6-1, 6-4.
His opponent today, the sensational young Yugoslavian Goran Ivanisevic. His big serve and volley has put him into his second career final. Stefan Edberg takes on Goran Ivanisevic at the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup, next on Prime Network. We are at the Hamlet Golf and Country Club in Comac, Long Island, New York, ready for the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup Finals. And what a match it'll be. Stefan Edberg, the #1 player in the world, taking on young Goran Ivanisevic. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Barry McKay, and what a day we've got. It has not been like this all week long. Rain every single day, and tournament director Wendy Parr and her crew have somehow gotten us to the finals. They have scrambled out here to get all these matches played. Well, joining me today, a young man who played a lot of tennis in this area a few years ago, started his career right here in Queens. Vitas Gerulaitis. Vitas, what about this matchup today?
Well, we've obviously got two very, very good players playing today. We got the #1, Stefan Edberg, who's been serving and volleying so well this week, but his mobility seems to have improved. And Ivanisevic has to pass to win, and I don't think he can pass Edberg enough times to really win the match. And Edberg also has the ability to stay back and feel comfortable enough to be able to rally with somebody like Goran, and I would have to say that Stefan's a heavy favorite.
Well, they both have excellent serves. We watched them all week long out here. Edberg, of course, with the right-handed, but let's look at that left-handed serve of Goran Ivanisevic.
Well, Goran's a little bit looser on his serve. He's taller, he's a little bit lankier, and he tosses the ball way out to the left, so he's able to swing you out wide and with the same motion deceptively put the ball straight down the middle, so he's tough to pick.
He's got a tough serve. Now let's look at Stefan Edberg's delivery.
Well, this has become something that we've seen so much of, that famous Edberg delivery. It's an American twist serve, which you hardly ever see anymore. He tosses the ball behind his head, comes back over the ball, and that's where he gets that tremendous spin and makes the ball rise so high and makes it so difficult to return.
Well, Stefan Edberg is on a roll. He has not lost it all this summer, and yesterday Vitas was down there after he finished his match to ask him how he felt.
I haven't lost a match since I came here, so everything is going perfect at the moment, but the important thing is to stay focused on what you're doing. You got to still keep working, and but I'm playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, and I feel good. I feel good about going out to play long matches, and that's what it is all about.
Well, obviously, Stefan Edberg very relaxed, but he's got his hands full today. A good young player, Goran Ivanisevic, will give him all he can handle. Stay with us because we're going to have that finals next, and also we're going to show you some highlights of the semifinals. John McEnroe took on Stefan Edberg last night. We'll have it all right here on Prime Network. Last night in semifinal action, two-time Wimbledon champion Stefan Edberg took on a three-time Wimbledon champion, unseeded but fast improving John McEnroe. Edberg started fast and covered this drop shot easily. But in the second set, John McEnroe put it into gear with passing shots just like that. Edberg, though, stayed true to form and covered net easily to move ahead. A frustrated John McEnroe tried to figure what to do. And now Stefan Edberg was at match point. And the big Swede knocked off the forehand return to move into today's final with a straight set victory. We are ready for the finals. On the right, the #1 player in the world, Edberg. On the left, the challenger, Goran Ivanisevic. That's the finals. We'll have it for you coming up. Welcome back to the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup, where the #1 seed Stefan Edberg is ready to take on the #5 seed Goran Ivanisevic. What a final it should be, as the Wimbledon champion tries to loosen up. 24 years old, 6'2", 170 pounds, and in great physical condition, now living in London, England. Of course, he's #1 in the world, as we've said, and you don't do much better than win Wimbledon, which put him on his way to that #1 position. This week, interesting week. He had a bye, which is nice for those top-seeded players, and then beat David Wheaton, a fast improving young American, 6'2" in the third. And then he really got into gear, beating Jonas B. Svensson from Sweden in straight sets, and moving into the final with that straight set win over John McEnroe. So he is ready. His opponent today, Goran Ivanisevic, only 18 years old, and he's taller, 6'4", deceptively tall. Actually doesn't look that tall. He's ranked number 15th in the world. What a move he's made. And of course, he won that tournament over in Stuttgart earlier this year. Came in here to this event, had to play every round, beat Posey in straight sets, then a 3-setter against Ferreira, beat Sampras in a very good match there in the quarters, and then had to struggle last night to beat Guy Forget 6'3" in the third. Our chair umpire, Dana LaCanto, one of the veteran umpires now on the tour, moving around with each week's tournament. And the weather hotter today, much more humidity in the air, 82 degrees and very sticky, not much wind. And for the first time, really nice clear skies out here at the Hamlet. And it's supposed to be hot and humid with a possible shower in the offing, but I think we're going to be all right, Vitas.
No, it doesn't look like it's going to rain today. We've got finally a beautiful day for tennis.
So we are ready here for a match that a lot of anticipation in this crowd, which is still flowing into this extremely attractive stadium. 4,500 people here at the Hamlet. This is the permanent stadium now that has been built out here, and they will just add to it a little bit as the years go ahead. Edberg ready to receive against Ivanisevic.
They're still waiting for a couple people to sit down in the back of the stands.
This is best of 3. And Ivanisevic opens where he left off. Service ace.
And that's a great serve for lefty to start off with, because their natural serve is the one that they swing out wide to a righty's backhand. And if you can show your opponent that you're serving well to his forehand, that makes that one right there so much more effective.
And Ivanisevic again with that service ace down the center, goes quickly to 40 love. Great coverage. Good low shot from Ivanisevic, but Edberg handled it.
I think Edberg today is not going to spend too much time on the baseline, especially with Ivanisevic being able to hit so many big shots. Every opportunity he has to get into the net, he's going to try to sneak in.
And that's the one area we've talked about, Vitas, that Edberg certainly has improved, is his net coverage. He misses very few balls up there.
I think he's improved his percentage of not missing all around in his whole game. From the forehand to the backhand. I mean, he's just been playing really high percentage tennis.
Ivanisevic still up now, 40-30.
Let and a fault. The let court judge to the very far right of your picture. And Edberg hits long with the backhand, and so Ivanisevic holds serve in the first game. He wins it. It's 1-love. Welcome back to the Hamlet. It's 1-love. Ivanisevic leading. This is best of 3. These guys have played only one time prior to today. It was back at the French Championships in the round of 16, and Edberg won that in straight sets, but that was 1989, and that's a long time ago when you look at this kid's improvement.
Big difference the way he's playing now.
Love one. Edberg at the top of your picture to serve in the second game. Ivanisevic will hit with the two-hander off the right side. He's left-handed, uses the one hand on the forehand side. Very similar to Jimmy Connor's style.
Right. And he definitely goes for his return. He's not one to just play the ball back. He goes for a forceful return.
Double fault. First game, what do you think, Vitas, on anybody's serve is always a tough one to do?
Yeah, it's always, you're a little tight, and you know, he's playing an 18-year-old, which you're now the newly crowned #1 player in the world, and it's got to be a difficult situation for him, you know.
Left court. Ooh, Ivanisevic going for the left-hander.
I'm sure just in the past week, I mean, all the press people and everybody that have been after Edberg has changed his life all around. But in this shot here, this is the reason why, well, for #1, he's a little lucky. And Ivanisevic just overplayed that shot. That was showed his inexperience there.
30-15. And there is one of those hard-hitting two-handers. He goes for it.
That's the one that he really drills, and it stays down pretty low, which makes it for a very tough volley.
And that's the shot that got him so far at Wimbledon. He got to the semifinals, had Becker down a set and set point to go up 2-0, and yet lost in 4 sets to Becker over there. But a good match. And a foot fault called on Stefan Edberg.
He had quite a few called on him yesterday, I think 3 or 4.
We'll watch it. Sometimes his right foot swings onto the baseline. That ball will go wide, but some good scrambling.
Great athletic ability by Edberg. He got back. That overhead was not an easy one to put away. He got back to it very quickly. Watch the footwork. He's on his toes, and he immediately anticipates it, gets back, can't quite put it away. It's behind him, and he snaps. It shows you how strong his wrist is.
He's really fun to watch. He moves so gracefully. Just wide.
It's also nice to see someone like Edberg's style, you know, especially, you know, after the Borg era. You just saw so many bad Borg clones that it was getting really pretty boring watching tennis. And now, you know, finally they have a suite that serves and volleys. And I think it's inspired a lot of kids, you know, to pick up that type of game.
Well, Vitas, if you wanted to teach a youngster how to play and just said, watch Edberg, he does everything so, what I would say, orthodox, so solid.
Right.
Great way to learn the game.
Good footwork. He's always in position. He's always stepping into the ball. His racket's back early all the time. He volleys with the racket way out in front. And he's got a very good temperament on the court.
Advantage to Edberg. Oh, and Goran just uncorks a forehand. No play on that whatsoever.
I mean, take a look at this shot. I mean, I don't know how he even had time. That was a good first serve. And he returned it faster than the serve came at him. Look at that. He just comes right over. And that's a big swing. It's a short little punch.
And again, Ivanisevic with the two-hander cross court. A clean shot, hit it right on the nose.
Look at that return. He gets down low, and this is where he sets up that early preparation. See, that's where the two hitters have that advantage. You see, they can hide the racket from behind their shoulders, and with that disguise, they got the topspin lob, or the down line, or the cross court. That's where Connors was so dangerous with that shot. He had 3 options instead of 2.
So Edberg gets out of trouble there, back to deuce. Just hits the tape. Another good return off a slice backhand.
That's right.
Time.
That time he showed us that he had a another type of backhand. He had a little chip backhand. He hit it very close to the line.
And you know, Vitas, he kind of improvises so quickly on that return. I mean, you wouldn't have thought he was going to hit a one-hander, but yet it all just came to him very quickly. A lot of talent. Well, one thing about Ivanisevic, when he misses so far, he isn't missing by much.
He misses, you're right, just by an inch or 2. Another good shot of Edberg serve from a different angle. Still the same toss, and a lot of the power comes from that knee bend. He bends down so low, and then he just propels himself into the ball.
And so Edberg, after being in some trouble in that second game, pulls it out. It's 1-all.
Can you imagine how dangerous Ivanisevic,
we may call him Goran before the day's over.
Ivanisevic will be when he, I mean, he's only 18 years of age, and he starts to steady down some of those returns. He's only missing by an inch or 2. You know, he had 2 or 3 winners just in that one game alone.
The superstructure you see there in the background is the eventual new clubhouse out here at the Hamlet for the Golf and Country Club. Beautiful setting. And Ivanisevic with another ace. And Goran serves up his 4th ace of the match.
And that's the one that I was saying that is so effective. It's the, he lines it up, he gets straight up, and there he comes just around the outside of the ball and gets the angle, which was so, that's what really won the point, not the pace or the speed. He just hits it so far up the line that it's impossible to return.
And he has what you'd have to call a very orthodox-looking left-handed serve.
Yes.
Just nothing unusual, no wasted motion.
Nope. Brings both arms straight up, racket behind his back, and then straight out. But he gets great snap.
He snapped one there, and ball ended up in the net. Serves up his first double fault. And too much power, and so Ivanisevic leads 2-1. First set. We're at the Hamlet. Stay with us. Final round here at the Hamlet. Ivanisevic leading 2-1 first set. And for the first time in 1990 on the IBM ATP Tour, all 8 seeds reached the quarterfinals. Vitas, a great match there between 2 youngsters, Ivanisevic and Sampras.
There really was some heavy hitting going on in that match.
We speculated that that quarterfinal could one day, before too long, be the Wimbledon final, because Pete Sampras playing some fine tennis, and this youngster very dangerous. Edberg knows it. He's down 1-2, 4th game, first set. It's wide.
Edberg classically serves that ball, gets in very quickly. He's already a step inside. And he picked up actually a very difficult return. Yeah, you're not going to see him miss too many of those.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head, Vitas. This guy, Edberg, has just firmed up his game in all departments. He does not have lapses like he used to. He would lose a couple points. We'd see him a couple years ago kind of get the shoulders down and go into a bad lull, but he just doesn't do that anymore.
I'd almost say he's developed a mentality, you know, short of Jimmy Connors. You know, very rarely did Jimmy ever have a mental lapse or ever really make a bad mistake. You never really saw Jimmy make, you know, a horrible error. You know, he always played, you know, well within himself, you know, and Stefan Edberg seems to be reaching that stage.
30-15. Oh. Just as solid as you can get off the two-handed return.
He sets himself up real early and swings right through it. Edberg was not very happy with where he served the ball. I think he kind of got down on himself a little bit because the placement was not very good. Well, that was a little bit better. See, he's angled it a lot better that time. You know, against a guy like Ivanisevic, you can't serve the ball into the pocket. And the racket's way out in front. Good footwork. And they're always out in front. Anybody that wants to learn a volley correctly, watch Stefan Edberg. Keep that racket out in front with the head up.
And Edberg holds serve. Not an easy game, though. It's 2-all.
See, Edberg depends a lot. He doesn't have a lot of pace on his serve. He has a lot of kick, but his accuracy is what really, you know, helps him win his games so easily most of the time on his serve. He picks his spots so close to the line and mixes it up so well. That's the effectiveness of his serve.
You know what else is impressive early in this match, Vitas, is that both players are hitting the ball so clean. You can hear it from up here, right in the center of the racket.
It looks like everybody's peaked, you know, just at the right time for the U.S. Open. I'm really looking forward to the Open this year. I got a feeling all the good players are playing awfully well.
15 love.
Got to be careful you don't peak too early.
That's a long 2 weeks down there.
Long 2 weeks.
Ivanisevic, finally, we jinxed him. I said they were hitting the ball so clean, and then he mishits one there. 15-all. Solid two-hander.
That time he sets up and he wins this point with sheer power. Edberg was there for the volley, but just couldn't quite control it.
And Vitas, you really saw him move the grip that time. Both hands getting into that just perfect situation for the grip on that two-hander.
And he really likes to get around with that backhand grip, so he really gets straight through the ball, so he gets a lot of drive.
It's going to go long, and so Goran Ivanisevic holds serve here in the 5th game. He leads 3-2. We're at the Hamlet, the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup. We are on serve in the first set. Stefan Edberg to serve, down 2-3 to the youngster Goran Ivanisevic. 6th game of the first set. This is best of 3 for the title out here at the Hamlet on the eve of the U.S. Open. other thing about Ivanisevic is he does have a good temperament. He seems to be able to compete and stay in there. You rarely see him have a problem, and he's only 18 years old. He's very mature. And a double fault for Stefan Edberg. Edberg has it going, as we mentioned, 20 matches in a row. He has won the last 3 times at Wimbledon, LA, and Cincinnati. I talked to Brad Gilbert after that match in Cincinnati. He said the guy was just devastating. There was nothing he could do that would penetrate Edberg down there. Could beat 6-1, 6-1 in the final. Now you see that nice 12-foot high backdrop behind Edberg. Watch this grip change now as we look at the youngster as he gets ready to hit the two-hander. Really a solid approach on that two-handed shot. That's not easy to do, is it, Vitas? Especially with the two-hander?
Well, some players don't switch at all. Like, say, Jeannie Mayer used to just hold it one way on both sides. But some players do like to switch from the forehand grip to a backhand grip. And that does make it a little bit more difficult, especially when you're taking a big swing.
And so Stefan Edberg serves up another double fault. He has been foot faulted once already.
Could be the players are just not used to having a nice day. The sun's bothering them.
Edberg has served 3 double faults thus far. Ooh, and he misses what looked like an easy backhand volley.
I heard something. I thought somebody had called fault.
Watch it here as Edberg kind of hesitates. Maybe he thought there was a fault called.
I heard it,
yeah.
But I think it could have been somebody from the crowd.
Yes. Okay. Good.
You're going to see a lot of towels used out here. A lot of humidity today. And Edberg out wide with the first serve. And so Stefan Edberg has held serve in the 6th game. It's 3-all. Both these guys have gotten to the finals of various tournaments. Career, obviously, Edberg 25 and 22. Not too bad. Ivanisevic only 3. He's won 1 out of those 3. Try.
Edberg slices the backhand. Shows you where he's got a lot of versatility. There's the forehand. Drives through, and now he's going to come in and approach with his big forehand drive. And he was a little bit lucky because Goran ran down a good ball, threw up all the high lob, and he mishit the overhead. I mean, it's a little difficult to see today because of the bright sun.
And a foot fault called from Ivanisevic's left there by the baselinesman. Well, that's the other thing we've noticed about Edberg this week, Vitas, is he's content. I shouldn't really say content, but he is so solid from the backcourt. He doesn't seem to rush as far as getting into net like he used to.
Yeah, he picks the perfect spot for himself. You know, he waits till he gets the really short ball and takes full advantage of it.
15 all, 3 all, first set.
I'm sure he's not very happy with that one. Trying to pump himself up, get going a little bit. Ivanisevic is a tough player to play also because he's one of those types that doesn't really give you a groove, doesn't get you into the play. Like say when you used to play somebody like Rosewall or a Connors who hit the ball so clean. He's a hit or miss player. I mean, he can make a mistake there, or, you know, miss a ball by about 12 yards and then hit 3 clean winners right after that, you know, and I used to hate playing players like that.
You basically, playing against him, you just have no control over the pace.
No.
So Ivanisevic now up 40-30.
So it's more of a mental battle for you just to stay with him and, you know, not for you not to make any silly mistakes.
Now it's going to go wide, and so Goran Ivanisevic holds serve. He leads 4-3. First set out here at the Hamlet. We are back at the Hamlet, where the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup has reached the finals. Stefan Edberg down 4-3, and it is hot and humid. As you can see on this last changeover, they've got the ball kids out with umbrellas, just sheltering the players because the humidity is fierce. The sun is out really for the first time this week. As you said, Vitas, a player who's been playing under overcast conditions suddenly looks up and sees the sun and says, hey, wait a second, we haven't had to deal with that so far this week.
You know, it's an adjustment you have to make. But this is great training for the U.S. Open because this is an average day at Flushing Meadows. You know, you're in an even more enclosed place. You have 10 times more people.
There is Tony Pickard, the coach of Stefan Edberg, and a player we used to compete against. Great Davis Cup player for Great Britain in his day. And so these are new tennis balls now. They're changing at 7 and 9. And Vitas, how about serving with new balls? What do you think?
I think it's an advantage to a good server. I mean, if you ask anybody that serves well, they'd love to be serving with new balls almost all the time.
They go through the air a little quicker?
Well, you know, especially if it's been a moist day or, you know, there's been a lot of sweating going on, the balls fluff up. You just get a little extra 5 miles an hour speed off them.
They tell me you used to hide a couple new balls in the back there and then bring them out at match point.
Well, there's all sorts of little tricks you could use in trade. You know, a couple players that used to try to do that.
Edberg quickly to 30 love.
A lot of times you'll see players, you know, they're wondering why they're changing balls from the ball boy. Say, no, I don't want that one. Give me another one. They're looking for the freshest, newest ball in the pack, especially when they're serving for a big point.
Again, you see that fine 12-foot high background behind Ivanisevic. This is a player's kind of court out here. Excellent vision. Let court judge there to the far right with his fingers just inside the single stake.
That's a good play, especially against someone as tall and lanky as Ivanisevic. You want to try to hit a lot of volleys behind him because he basically breaks for the open court whenever he returns.
And again, Edberg handling the low volley with ease. Hold serve at love. It's 4-all. I don't know. What do you think, Vitas? If Edberg were to lose today, which he hasn't obviously done in 20 matches, would that take some pressure off of him going into the U.S. Open, or do you think it'd be better?
I don't really think it would make a difference one way or the other. I think he's just using this as a warm-up. Whether he wins it or not, I think he's working on specific things that he knows that he has to do to win the U.S. Open. I think part of it's conditioning, part of it's playing a lot of matches. And whether, you know, obviously I don't think he'll be happy if he loses, but he'd much rather lose to him here and be able to play him at the U.S. Open and have a victory.
15 love. No call. Winner down the line off that sweeping forehand. He kind of comes around the side of it. Well, he covered that high backhand volley, but he was there almost too quick. Overhit it.
That's where sometimes I think he's a little bit slow and a little lanky at the net. There he got caught behind him. Didn't have the racket out in front. Just a little bit late.
Well, he's 6'4", and as you said, he moves pretty quickly for that height. And another race.
Great swinger. He's that about as good as anybody in the game. Look at how wide it comes out. See, it's not the pace, it's the angle with which that ball comes out. I mean, that's an unreturnable serve. And even if Edberg does get his racket on, the whole court's wide open for an easy volley. But you have to be able to set that one up with the one out to the forehand. If an opponent knows that you can't serve to your forehand, they'll play all the way over to the backhand side. So you have to be able to serve to both sides. That's good.
And there it is. The game, 5-4, Ivanisevic. Welcome back to the finals of the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup here in Comac, Long Island, New York. Stefan Edberg, the two-time Wimbledon champion, down 4-5 to this gentleman on the right, Goran Ivanisevic, a sensational young Yugoslav who got to the semifinals of Wimbledon this year and had Boris Becker hanging down a set and almost down 2 sets. Great young talent, and certainly giving Edberg everything he can handle. 4-5.
Quick hands by Ivanisevic. Got that racket back. There he returns it, and this is a strong, hard volley back deep, and he just plays it back even faster, and Edberg's just beaten by the pace.
And Ivanisevic yesterday played 8 sets. He is in the doubles in this competition. Had to play 3 to beat Guy Forget, and so he had a busy day yesterday. But at 18, I don't think it's going to worry him too much as Edberg serves up his 4th double fault. Bad time for it, down love 15.
That's right. That gives Ivanisevic a good chance to get right into this set.
And so there's a look at the double faults. Edberg twice as many as Goran. Well, they called Ivanisevic Zivo as he came up, or Bobo, or about anything you'd want. So this kid may be Evo before we're finished. 15-30. Still a chance here. Oh, and that is so tough.
And that's a crisp-looking volley.
That was not a bad return, but Edberg just put the ball away off that backhand.
That's showing somebody that's got a lot of confidence in his volley. I mean, he picked his spot, bang, right on the line.
That is
always moving forward.
And Ivanisevic slips as he goes wide for that forehand, trying to stop quickly. And so from love 30 down now, Edberg back in it.
Yeah, here you're going to take a good look at where he ran. He slides almost like on clay.
Really?
But, you know, these courts are fantastic for movement. I used to love playing on this court. You could stop on a dime. A little bit tough on the body, but great for mobility.
Good low return. Well, the one nice thing about DecaTurf too, Vitas, I feel, is that you can play offense, you can play defense, you can virtually do everything on this surface.
Right.
I think it brings out the best in both players.
I think it favors the aggressive player a little bit more than, you know, the player that stays back and plays a little bit more defensive, but you could still play a defensive game and do rather well in this court.
Well, think of Mats Wilander's win over Lendl in that final a couple years ago.
But that was almost a battle of attrition, that one.
Goran muttering a little Yugoslavian to himself as he towels off. I think he was not happy with the racket. May have turned slightly in his hand there. Just hits the tape, and so Edberg comes back to hold serve. It is now 5 games all, first set. Good prize money here. The winner will pick up $32,800. The runner-up, $19,000 plus. But maybe more importantly, 103 IBM ATP Tour points to the winner, 78 to the runner-up. And there you see the semis don't do bad either, as well as the quarterfinals. Nowadays, Vitas, the quarterfinalists make almost as much as you guys did when you won the tournament.
I don't think the first round losers do too badly.
Goran waiting for a call here. This is Dana Lecanto in the chair, and some concern about that last serve call.
Well, Edberg's saying you got to go with the call.
Watch it now. Here comes the ball in question. Awful tough to call. We were right between the camera and the line. And a good first serve, and so Goran Ivanisevic up 6-5. The score 6-5. Ivanisevic leading in the first set, and we talked about how you got to stop. Here's Edberg's Adidas as he puts the brakes on, and he can really change directions. Goran with the Diodoras, and he moves in either direction very quickly. And up in the booth, we got our Nikes going.
We got our Nikes going.
A little hokey, but we got to change directions too every once in a while.
Sure. You got to be able to sprint down for that interview, you know, right after the match.
All right, 6-5. Ivanisevic leading. First set. Edberg to serve, trying to get into the tiebreak. Footwork was never my calling, Vitas. I know you moved pretty quickly, but I never relied too much on that.
That's because you had the big boomer. That's why you like this kid Goran. You like the way he gives the ball a rap.
He definitely does. 15-love. Edberg now 3 points away from that tiebreak.
I'm a little more partial to the small steps that Edberg takes to get into the net to prepare himself.
Kind of like a stutter step almost.
Yeah.
He really keeps his balance well. Edberg missing with the forehand volley.
Just overplayed it a little bit. Came over the top of it. Big second serve. Accurate, and he got it up really high.
He heard that tape that time, not by much did he miss the forehand, but Edberg now 1 point away from the tiebreak.
I think Goran guessed correctly that time and just jumped a little bit and clipped the top of the tape.
Oh, yes. Good low coverage on that backhand volley, and so Edberg has held serve. We are into a tiebreak.
That's probably one of the better points of the match right there. Edberg makes a really fine volley, but a great get by Ivanisevic, and he dives to make the backhand volley. Great court coverage by both players. Here's a shot of that backhand volley, stepping down low, still keeping the head of the racket up, and going straight through the ball.
Let first serve. You can barely see that single stake. These are permanent doubles net poles, and then they'll have a single stake right there in front of the let court judge. There you see him put his left hand inside that so he can feel it.
It's the first time I've seen them in metal. Usually they're the green wood type.
They're almost invisible. Edberg again hauls off with that sweeping backhand, hitting it deep. It's 2-1.
Well, Goran tries to get the shot, and he's not very happy. He's played 2 sloppy points in a row. Missed an easy forehand the previous point, and there he did get the ball back into play.
And a foot fault called by the base linesman. Oh, that's just too solid.
He's saying that's where Edberg, at this point in the match, he won't make any silly errors. You know, basically, he's going to either hit a winner or keep you back on the defensive. Here, he hits out. He's not afraid. He's confident. And he just seizes the opportunity to cut the ball off.
Both shots, the first approach shot maybe about 6 feet from the baseline, and then the volley even better, right in the corner.
See, there that time, he shows the variety. He sees the guy coming in. If Ivanisevic made a smart play to change the game and come in, but then Edberg was quick enough to read it, chip it low. This kid does not hit a good low volley and forces another error.
And the score shows it, 4-1. Edberg up in the tiebreak. First player to reach 7 points with a 2-point advantage will win this set 7-6. A little lapse there by Edberg as he nets a fairly easy forehand volley. They'll change sides. The youngster doesn't even grab a towel. He'll probably do it on this side, though. Well, these two have played some tie breaks this year, as you can see. Edberg 11-7, and Ivanisevic not so lucky in tie breaks. 5 out of 10. Good eye from Edberg, just lets that floater go long. Edberg tried to stop, put on the brakes, but a good volley. Goran just flails at that ball, missed a volley into the open court.
That was a great pickup by Stefan Edberg, and it just made Goran hit a very, very low volley. And he's just not that adept. I mean, he's really got to get down from that 6'4" position to hit those volleys.
And so now Edberg serving for the set, up 6-3. Ivanisevic down in the baseline, too solid from Edberg, and Stefan Edberg has won the first set in a tiebreak, 7-6. Stay with us. We're at the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup in Comac, Long Island. Here at the Hamlet, Edberg wins the first set, 7-6 in a tiebreak. Solid tennis, and here was a set point as Ivanisevic tries to change directions, goes down, and he knows the first set has just disappeared. All right, we're ready for second set action. First game, second set. And Stefan Edberg continues to roll. 20 matches in a row he has won.
Ooh, that's beauty.
Edberg opens the second set with a nice ace down the center. And pretty good record there. After he wins the first set, he is 43-2 in matches this year.
Reminds you of a surgeon out on the court, Edberg. Just so clean and precise with everything, every shot that he makes.
And Edberg serves up another double, his 5th of the match. Stefan checks the toss there. The sun now has gone behind a cloud. No sun problems. Back quickly, nice overhead, and so Stefan Edberg up 1-love, second set. Goran Ivanisevic serving in the first point here of the second game of the second set and serves up a double fault. His 3rd of the match. Down love 15, and he's down a set. It's going to go wide. Edberg forcing matters now. Has love 30 here.
Another good example of the experience of Edberg. I mean, he's not happy with just a 1-set lead. He wants to get a break right away. Took advantage of that shot before, came in.
A real lapse now by Goran here as he is down quickly, love 40. As you said, Vitas, big opportunity early in the second, and when you're playing as well as Edberg is, if you get a break here, you got to feel like you're going to win this match.
And he knows that this guy can string together some bad games. So
now when it rains, it pours. A foot fault, down love 40. Now he is forced into a second serve. Goran has another look over at the baseline. Person there who called the foot fault on him. There's the gentleman right there, not intimidated. Didn't you used to, when you got foot faulted, if you did, Vitas, at least go and ask the guy, hey, what did I do wrong?
I used to ask him, you know, which foot.
Yeah.
And then they would know, so didn't really help me out as much.
No, and he overhits the forehand, and Edberg has broken serve in the second game of the second set. Edberg now leads it 2-love. Well, the finals is on the center, but, you know, these folks don't care. They're just out hitting some balls on the outer courts. Great complex
Some
here.
future champions out in the back there.
Could well be. This tennis setup, even though it's surrounded at the moment, as you can see, by the future clubhouse there, a superstructure being built. It's going to be a gorgeous tennis setting out here when it's all completed. Elliot Montour, we spoke with earlier today, the head man out here, who will be front and center when the presentations are made following this match. The Holiday Corporation's done a tremendous job putting not only this event together, but developing a great complex out here at the Hamlet.
And putting it together in such a short period of time and doing such a good job at it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize, from the volunteers to the getting the ball boys together to the food concessions. You should know. You run a fairly large tournament yourself.
Well, but also, Vitas, when you have rain every day like they've had out here, it really does become a frustrating situation. And as we said earlier, they've done a great job getting to the finals here, because the U.S. Open starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so things have got to wrap up. Boy, that's a good backhand volley all over the net, just cuts it off.
See, that's what a lot of club players make a mistake, is that they let the ball play them. You see, he goes directly to where the ball's coming at, so he cuts it off by an extra foot and a half, instead of letting the ball play you, which is a very defensive mode way of hitting a volley. So whenever you see the ball, go towards the ball, cut it off, and you'll be in a foot or 2 feet closer to the net.
Again, good coverage at net as Goran Ivanisevic slips, hitting that forehand.
Doing a little landscaping on the court. Here he gets, yep, no, he's like slipping and sliding today. Thinks it's a grass court. He's trying to cut it down a little bit.
And so Edberg, with the service ace, holds easily. It is 3-love. Edberg leading. Stefan Edberg, extremely solid so far in this match. Up a set and 3-love. And at this point, what do you think? What should Ivanisevic do?
Well, I think number one, he should cut down on all of the errors. I mean, you know, he's missing what I think are real easy balls. You know, and I think he should change his attitude. I think he's down on himself right now. I mean, if anything now, is pump yourself back up. I said, come on, you're playing the #1 player in the world. What did you expect? A cakewalk?
Fault first serve, 15-all, love 3. Edberg pulls the forehand wide. We have not seen him miss too many easy balls.
That's the first real easy ball that he's missed all day long today. Guess he even deserves one.
There you saw Edberg, when he hit the backhand, kind of slipped in behind it.
Right, he loves that play. And he does that off his flat shot more than he does off his slice, which is unusual. You think he would slice and come in a little bit more, but he likes to really stroke through it, hit it hard, and come in.
He's hasn't he developed that shot, that flat backhand approach over the last year or so?
Yeah, that's a new shot.
Oh, yes, but it's going to go wide. The court wide open. Edberg had him if the ball somehow slips in.
Edberg's not a little happy with the ending of that point. He was guessed correctly on each one. He had got a second chance, and I don't believe it.
40-30. Goran with another ace finally gets on the board here in the second set. And so 3-1. Edberg with a break and a set. Well, the aces, even though he has twice as many, have not helped him out here today.
See, right now, I don't think Goran's bending very well. I don't think he's getting down to the ball. I just think his attitude actually is...
Well, he's starting to miss a lot more return of serves, too. He's not getting that ball in play like he was earlier.
I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, confidence and concentration. You know, if you're not fighting for every single ball, you know, you're going to start slapping at a couple of shots and start missing, you know, easy balls. And as you know, today in tennis, there is no time to take, you know, 1 point off. That's the difference between both players are very talented, but you take a look at the difference of the work ethic of Stefan Edberg. He plays the point 1 point at a time. I guarantee you he doesn't look at like, well, I'm going to try to break him the next game and hold my serve. He's taking it now 30-15. Let's think about this point right now.
And a miss hit on the return, and so Stefan Edberg easily winning his serve at love. He leads 4-1 in the second set. We're at the Hamlet. Stay with us. Welcome back to the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup out here at the Hamlet, Comac, Long Island, New York, where the #1 player in the world is definitely giving this youngster, Goran Ivanisevic, a bit of a lesson. He is up a set, 7-6, and leading 4-1 in the second. This is best of 3 for the title, and $32,000 plus. Edberg continuing to volley so well. It's interesting here because Ivanisevic has skidded quite a bit on this DecoTurf 2-court. Watch him now. He'll hit the one-handed slice and then tries to stop it as Edberg comes in with that forehand. Beautiful footwork, and then just a nice low backhand volley out in front. Yes. Ivanisevic back quickly. Good shot here of how quickly he gets back, because he was moving forward, but 6'4", he can leap. Ivanisevic likes to hit that one-handed, left-handed forehand with a lot of topspin. That time it backfired on him. You can see the grip. Very humid out here, and so I'm sure that racket turns slightly in his hand. 15-30. And a foot fault called. A couple of soccer players. Goran looking a little impatient there, just wails at the forehand, and so now double break point for Stefan Edberg here, trying to get up 5-1. Good punch volley. As I'm sure you can tell, my associate Vitas Gerulaitis is headed down courtside. We'll try and chat with the winner following this match. And Ivanisevic, Edberg, a little displeasure there at the call. ball just skipped the top of the net as it came back on the return, caught Goran coming in, forced him into that half volley. Just wide, but a beautiful pickup by Stefan Edberg there on that little low forehand volley. Watch how quickly now Edberg moves here. Not a bad lob. Ivanisevic gets his racket on, but look at right there. Just a little half volley that has him on the full run. He tries to body English that ball. Watch it from another angle here. Perfect timing on that shot. Difficult shot. Conditions have definitely shaped up out here today. Just about ideal. A little bit humid, but not too much wind. And a double fault. Chance for a break here for Edberg. Ivanisevic, coached by Balash Taradsky, another fine European player who Vitas used to play against quite a bit. They were out warming up before this match, but at the moment doesn't seem to have helped too much. Chance now for 4-2. And Goran Ivanisevic holds serve, and so down a break. He is still in this match. Ivanisevic and Slobodan Ivanisevic got to the quarterfinals of the Olympics when it was played in Seoul. Can you imagine that umpire with that doubles team? And Edberg serves up his fourth double fault. Seventh game now, love 15. Just a glimmer of hope for the youngster here. He is still down a break and down a set. Pushes the forehand long. Just wide. He has a look over at the coach. Watch it one more time now as Ivanisevic just goes for this forehand cross court. Looks for a moment like he's going to make it, and then it's just wide. Watch it one more time from another angle. He thinks he has the winner. Oh, no, could it be? Just wide. Yes. Runs around, hits the forehand on the full there, and so still alive here now. It's a good shot of the running around forehand. Look at that. He leaves a lot of court open, but at that position, you've got to go for the winner. He did, and it worked. A miss hit, and so Stefan Edberg has held serve. He leads 5-2, second set. Welcome back to the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup Finals. Stefan Edberg against Goran Ivanisevic. Edberg has won the first set 7-6. He leads 5-2 in the second. It's best of three. Ivanisevic will be serving, trying to stay alive in this match. If you have not heard the voice of my friendly co-commentator, Vitas Gerulaitis, he has headed courtside. We're ready and standing by in case this match ends in straight sets to talk to the winner. Just long. Edberg was lucky to get to that ball, and he thought he was dead. Watch it now as Edberg gets up to this shot and is in big trouble right here. Ivanisevic decides to hit the lob volley, but it was just long. A little short. It's a kind of a ball when you hit it up, you say, was that about the right height, Goran? Yep, just perfect. 15 all. You could see there, Edberg just delayed slightly after what looked like a good return. Watch it now. Edberg hits the shot and just hesitates for a moment and gets past. And here is the passing shot. He hits a flowing forehand. Excellent shot. It's a dangerous shot from Goran. Ivanisevic throws the racket. Edberg just waited until he made his move. Now watch the way Edberg just waits here, hits a good low volley, gets set now, and waits for Ivanisevic to make his move, hits the drop volley, and he caught him. Goran knew right here that he was in trouble. I'll throw my racket over, maybe it'll hit the ball. 30 all. Going to go over, and so Goran Ivanisevic holds serve. He is still alive. 5-3. Edberg leading, and will now be serving for the match. Well, it's been a long week for this youngster. He had to play every round out here to reach the finals. Edberg, of course, got a bye in the first round. Makes some bit of difference when you end up in the final on Sunday. Boom, boom, serve and volley. Classic serve and volley here from the Wimbledon champion. That smooth delivery right at the top of the toss and in quickly. The quick footwork there. and into the open court with the winner. 15-love. So now Stefan Edberg 2 points away from this title. You can see the racket hand is slightly taped on the end of his fingers. The youngster, the ball is caught in the net. The ball person is caught at the net. Finally, a big hand for these kids who have done a great job all week long out here. Ivanisevic just uncorks. That's the kind of returns he was hitting in the first set, but they've kind of disappeared lately. Watch it one more time here. The two-hander, good angle, no question about the winner. Edberg still up, 30-15. Edberg. Well, it's a double fault. Stefan has a look up. Suddenly there is some wind. We can feel it up here, and it's coming from behind Stefan Edberg, which makes it difficult on the toss. Oh. Puts that racket up solid, knocks off the forehand volley, and Stefan Edberg is at match point. Oh, and he beautiful half volley there on a tough return, and Edberg has won it in straight sets, 7-6 and 6-3, and a very happy champion continues to roll here on the eve of the U.S. Open. And so Stefan Edberg, the champion, will be back and talk to the winner. Stay with us. Edberg, the winner out here at the Hamlet, straight sets, 7-6, 6-3. And so the new champion out here at the Hamlet for the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup is Stefan Edberg, a straight set winner, 7-6, 6-3. He is with Vitas Gerulaitis at courtside. Vitas?
Well, whether he likes it or not, we're getting to know each other pretty well. Stefan, congratulations. You played very well in the first set today.
Yeah, Goran played very well in the first set. I had to fight very hard, and you know, I started to pick up my game towards the end of the first set because he was booming a lot of aces in the beginning and he's playing with a lot of confidence. But I thought I had to stay with him, wait for a few mistakes, and hopefully pick up my game. And that would happen today. I took control in the second set, and you know, I thought I played well today.
But that's what you've been doing so well against a lot of opponents. You know, you're staying with the guys. You know, you let them ride out their hot streaks. You know, if they're booming away, you just hang in there till your game really starts to ignite, and then you start to play. You raise your level.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I play at the moment. You know, I feel I can raise my game when I really need it, and I feel physically very strong at the moment, and that obviously helps my game a lot.
I always knew you were a great serve and volleyer, but you also feel very comfortable from the baseline. I watched you yesterday. You played a lot of rallies from the baseline until you really find a shot that you like to come in on.
Well, I think that's you know, part of the physical part. I'm in good shape. I'm moving well, so that means I have more time to hit the ball. I don't feel that I'm you know, having problems because they're hitting the ball too hard. I'm always there, and I always get a chance to hit it. And you know, when you keep winning, your confidence goes up, and you just got to keep going.
And you know, your footwork is fantastic, and I think that's what's been helping with the mobility. You're always in position.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, I'm thinking when I'm out there playing, you know, I'm trying to think what shall I do the next point, what's a good thing to do right now, and I really try to concentrate on each point.
And we mentioned up in the booth, I think that you just take it one point at a time. You don't worry about the break the next game.
No, not really. I mean, that's the best thing. If you can be that focused, that's obviously the best thing. But it doesn't happen every day. Some days you feel you have less concentration. Sometimes it's a little bit different.
Let's just look about. Have you seen your draw at the Open?
Yes, I know who I play first round. I haven't seen more of it, and take one match at a time.
Okay, well, good luck with it.
Okay.
It's a good warm-up.
All right.
Congratulations. Back to you, Barry.
All right, Vitas. Well, there it is, the trophy for the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup. We'll be back with the presentation ceremonies and more tennis from out here at the Hamlet. Stay with us. We are back at the Hamlet, North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup. The match, a winner for Stefan Edberg, 7-6 and 6-3. And down at courtside now is Elliot Montour, who will handle the presentations. Elliot?
Thank you, Barry. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. Thank you for your support again this year in our 10th year. As you know, we've had a kind of rough week out here with rain, and we appreciate everyone's endurance and sticking with us. We'd especially like to thank the people who worked on the tournament this year, everyone in our tournament staff, Singles for Charity, who did a great job, volunteered all their time and effort this week so we could help raise money again for North Star Bank. I'd ask them to stand up, but everyone else is too. So I'd also like to thank the court crew who's been with us from the very first year. They kind of grew up with us. Everybody worked hard. The ball persons standing behind me and the others who worked during the week and also helped us dry the courts. I'd also like to thank the staff from the Hamlet here for working so hard and almost 24 hours a day. And finally, we'd like to thank all the umpires from the Eastern Tennis Umpires Association who waited out all the delays, did a fine job officiating the matches, and even did a little drying of the courts themselves. So thank you. Lynn Byrne, thank you. I'd now like to introduce Wendy Parr, who's the tournament director, and Carrie Short, the tournament manager.
Thank you very much. This is a little surprise for Elliot. Elliot conceived this event 10 years ago, and he's our driving force and our inspiration. And in honor of him and tennis on Long Island, and from all of us who consider it a privilege to work with you, I'd like to present you with an 18-karat gold Ebel watch.
Thanks very much. I'd like to thank the people at Ebel, too. That was a surprise. Now, we'd like to get the awards underway. First, we'll present the award for the finalists in this year's tournament. Presenting Mr. Ed Robinson, the manager of the Eastern Region for BMW, to present the award to Goran Ivanisevic.
Well, before I go into the actual awards presentation, I would like to just take a moment to thank our title sponsor, North Star Bank. They've done a great job at supporting us this year, supporting the event, and really making everything quite successful. And I guess the success of the event wouldn't be complete unless we did thank also the holiday organization, and more specifically, Wendy Parr. Wendy, where did you go? There you are. And Carrie Short. They've done a great job for us organizing everything. I know we've had a challenging week. We started out, it was cold and rainy, and now we end up kind of sunny and hot. But it was a great week for BMW. This is our first year here. We will be here again next year, and we're kind of looking forward to the events and everything that goes with it. But Goran, if I could ask you to come up. First, we'd like to present you with the North Star Bank Hamlet Challenge Cup singles finalists. You've done a great job despite the challenges of the weather we put in front of you today. And I would also like to present to you, on behalf of everyone here, a check, $19,470. Boy, you sure earned it today. You sweat that much out of you. Congratulations. Great job. Thank you.
I would like to thank all of you who came today to support me and Stefan, and to North Star Bank Hamlet and BMW, to tournament director Wendy Parr, Elliot Monter, and all ball persons, volunteer, and IBN ATP Tour. Thank you.
Now to present our winner with his prize check and beautiful Baccarat trophy, I'd like to introduce Mr. Tom Dougherty, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of North Star Bank.
Thank you. Thank you, Elliot, and good afternoon, everybody. I think we all experienced a week of a little disappointment in rain, but certainly the tennis today was outstanding, and we congratulate both of them. I also would like to take this opportunity really to say to both Jerry and Elliot Monta the congratulations of everybody on Long Island, because they are the ones who really took the time, the energy, and the investment to build this very, very pretty sports complex. And it'll be great today and even better a year from now. Congratulations to you. And to the ATP Tour for making this a sanctioned event. It really will bring again the level of play and the number of players up to a new height. And last but not least, to the new leadership division of North Shore University Hospital, who work so hard. They do so many good things, and we're delighted that the proceeds of this tournament go to the university hospital. And what will be raised this year will bring the total to $500,000 over the last 5 years. Just a great, great cause. And most important is the opportunity to present the check to this year's winner. We have with us certainly the #1 player in the world. Congratulations, Stefan. We love you in Comac, and we love you at the U.S. Open. Congratulations and good luck next week. Here is a check in the amount of $32,800. Congratulations.
First of all, I would like to start off with thank a couple of people and some sponsor, and I'll start off with thanking Wendy Parr and Elliot Monte for taking us through these tournaments. It's been a rough week for everybody. It's been tough with the weather, but we ended up with a nice day, and at the same time I'd like to thank all the people for coming out here and support us throughout the week. Thanks a lot. Obviously, I'd like to thank the sponsors, North Star Bank and BMW, for putting up this event, and IBM and the ATP Tour, of course, and thanks to the whole organization, the ball boys, the ball kids. You've done a very good job this week, and also would like to thank all the people who participate in my charity thing, the golf outing on Monday. It turned out to be very, very nice. It was a charity for North Shore University Hospital. Thanks a lot for doing that. And thanks again to Tony Arnett for all the support. And I shall be back next year. Thanks a lot.
All right, a big day for Stefan Edberg on the eve of the U.S. Open, playing perhaps some of the best tennis of his career. A winner out here at the Hamlet. Stay with us. We're going to have more tennis. Edberg played McEnroe last night. We're going to have some of that for you when we come back. We're on Crime Network.